So hello guys, my name is Jess and welcome to the start of a new video. This video is going to be a reading vlog and we're going to be traveling to, drumroll maybe, Cuba. Yeah, we're going to be traveling to Cuba. I'm Canadian, I will be going to Cuba. Second time traveling in my whole life, so yeah, I don't know what to expect, but I decided to bring the camera, film a little bit and read some books. But I love a theme, I wanted a theme. So what theme could I go for? Mermaids, yeah, because I love to be oh so original. So I don't read the back of books, so I'm not quite sure what's happening in these books, but first, I went with a little series. I have no idea what these books are, but they were at my library, and we have Skin of the Sea, book 1, and Soul of the Deep, book 2, geology. And I'm assuming she's a mermaid? One mermaid will defy the gods. Do I need to know more? I'm not sure. This is well rated on Goodreads, and I believe that, as it says on the back of the book, I don't like to read back of the book, but for the sake of this video, we're going to be following Mami Wata, who will be collecting the soul of those who die at sea and blessing their journey back home. But when a living boy is thrown overboard, Simi goes against an ancient decree and does the unthinkable. She saves his life. 2 more paragraphs on the back of this book, but I do not care. She is saving the life of a boy and she will be defying gods. So I will try to read this trilogy, or maybe at least book 1. And then I actually add this book, used bookstore. And this is Deep Blue by Jennifer Donnelly, the Scholastic edition. Oh yeah. And this is also a series, and this is really well rated on Goodreads. So mermaid underwater, oh my god, there's a castle. It's kind of funny, a castle on fire in the water. So this will be a very realistic book and we shall love every second of it. But if we take a quick glimpse on the back, it says rich with magic and mythology, adventure and danger, goes hand in hand, romance and friendship. Just romance is kind of cool too. Both classic and contemporary. Water Fire Saga. It's not revealing that much. This little rhyme thing. Daughter of Marrow. Find the 5. Brave enough to keep hope alive. Okay, so yeah, no idea what's happening in this. But according to the book, it's rich with magic and mythology, amongst other things, and she's a mermaid. Love it. And then a third book. There's no way I'll be able to read all that, but I like to have choices. I'm a mood reader reading about mermaids, so that's what's happening. So the third one is also at my library. It's The Siren by Kiera Cass. I read the selection series by that author, the first 3 books, and it was pretty good. It was like a bachelor romance, but this is not what this is about. I'm assuming this is about a girl that is a siren. That's a standalone. It's not so well rated on Goodreads, but Goodreads is my friend, in case you haven't noticed. But it says here that it's a standalone romance, so that's always a good thing to read on a vacation. There's the beach, there's waves, and yeah. Is she actually a mermaid though? That's the question. It says on the back, I'd waited an eternity for this. I'd have waited all over again. Why is this word so hard? Waited. I'd have waited all over again if I had to. I was meant to kiss this boy. Designed to be held by him. Oh my god. It seems like soulmate and lovey. I don't know how much I'm gonna like that. All the careful posture I had. All the careful posture I held melted away and I pulled him closer. Oh my god, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. We were stars, we were music, we were time. Okay, I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so I think that's smart enough about mermaid books. Now I'm gonna try to go with that theme, but if they absolutely suck, I don't actually have it with me, but I also have And Then They Were None by Agatha Christie, which is, I believe, people stranded on an island, a small little thriller mystery, so I might read that. Or, no, I'm gonna stick to my theme and maybe read something else, Agatha Christie, maybe. But I'm gonna try to stick with my theme. See you on the other side.
À destination de Paris est maintenant prêt pour l'embarquement Ariel 68. Merci. Your attention.
So a little update, it's the second day I've been here, so this is behind me, it's so nice. This is the view from the balcony. And a quick tour of the room I'm in. Just gonna switch. So I have this nice little balcony, it's pretty big, a nice view. The beach is right behind there. Then we have the couch, a little living room. We wanted to go with the whole like suite. It just wasn't that expensive in Cuba, I thought, and it was nice to have the whole thing. So I have a huge bed, TV with not much choice, another book, haha. But on the TV there's not much choice of what we can watch. And then right here we have the huge bathroom. I don't know too many details there, but yeah. And then go back where it's nice by the balcony. But yeah, so I've been reading this book, Skin to the Sea, and so far I'm almost halfway. I mean, it's a mermaid book, but it's based on African mythology, so there's a lot of like gods and child's beliefs that comes to life, meaning that it's like Santa Claus kind of thing, but for the West African mythology. So you have all these like gods of like land and sea and nature and mischief and all of that. Trying to find some good light. I don't know. Anyway. So there's all these different gods. So it's really tied to that. The main character, Simi Dele, I believe her name is. She's a mermaid, and she was, actually it's called a Mamiwata, and she was created by the goddess of the sea. I'm not sure I remember her name. Yani. Anyway, she created Mamiwatas, the mermaid, to basically gather the soul of whoever falls in the sea, and then the Mamiwata goes to that person that just fell in the sea, and she gathers their soul in her little necklace, and then she summons the goddess of the sea so that this goddess can help the soul move on. And that's the part that surprised me. It's a bit, dark, but it's historical, so it's realistic, but I just didn't expect to read about that. It's focusing a lot of on the slave ship in Africa back in the day when they would, gather people, put them on slave ship and like terrible condition, torture them and stuff like that. So basically the Mamiwata gather people that falls from these ships. So you have these like bruised and just like whipped people, just like the ship just crash, or I'm not sure what's the term, and then these people, the slave, they just get thrown overboard and the Mamiwata goes to them. So the whole premise of this is that she finds a boy We like when girls find boys. So she finds a boy and he's still alive. So she decides to save his life. Instead of taking his soul, he opens his eyes. She's just like, oh my god. That's the very beginning of the book. And then she decides to just save him and bring him to the island of that goddess. And she has to atone for that. So the book so far has been her whole journey trying to atone to the big goddess, the one on top of the little goddesses. Just to ask forgiveness for bringing this human, just letting him live, but more importantly, because she did that, he learned about the Mamiwata and the goddess and all that, so that's considered extremely problematic, as you could imagine. So that's what she's setting out on this whole journey. But so far, there's a lot of talk of like different gods. Like she's encountered 3 or 4 different gods, and like there's a lot of words that are not in English, even though the book is in English. So it's like, to me, it's gibberish. But I might be some kind of language, African, I'm not sure. When she like summons the god, or when just people in general, they're just like calling the people that takes a slave Oyimbo, something like that. So maybe that's my own problem, but I'm really not familiar with all those terms. So sometimes I just read that and I just feel like I want to know more, but I can't, because, well, especially here with the Wi-Fi being so bad, so I can't really like look all that up. So that's a slight disconnect for that. But aside from that, I mean, there's a lot of action. It picks up really quickly, and she goes on this journey pretty much straight away. Oh, and one main thing that you also learn right away, which is part of the whole premise, when she's on land, her mermaid tail, like, it becomes legs. So, yeah. So she can be kind of both, but she needs to remember that she is of the sea, so it's forbidden to mingle with the humans. So there's an aspect there, but so far I'm not really feeling the tension between the couple, even though I really like the 2 main protagonists, but we shall see. If I feel the romance, I mean, it's really subplot so far, and that's perfectly fine with me. I actually prefer it that way, but I'm not feeling tension that much, because the main character really didn't have any interaction with humans. Mamiwata, the mermaid, that are made by the goddess, is basically dead people that the goddess chose to turn into mermaids. So she didn't really have the opportunity to connect with people, so that's like her first encounter with a boy that she might like. So I guess that feels a bit juvenile there. Just touching to her is something really great. So it just doesn't feel... I don't know, I can relate. I can relate when I was younger. I can understand. But maybe I'm looking for something else. So anyway, that's it for the little wrap up of my first half of the book, and I'll keep you updated. Bye bye. This is the next day. So this is my hair with the sun damage. Anyway, I'm not gonna focus on that. So we have a restaurant. So this is the little fit. I'm going really simple with a little black dress underneath, but it's kind of chilly tonight, 21, 22 degrees. Not sure what's that in Fahrenheit, but yeah. So I have the little cover up and my little heels. But quickly, I'm still not finished with Skin of the Sea, but I'm making good progress, and I hope to finish it at least tomorrow. Can't get over my hair. Oh my god. I'm probably gonna end up tying them. But I need to let them loose sometimes, or I'm just gonna embrace the look. But the second book I plan on picking after Skin of the Sea is Deep Blue. Yeah. By Jennifer Donnelly. I actually got that book at a used bookstore, and it happened to be a pretty popular book series about mermaids. And as I've mentioned before in the intro of this little video, it's hard to see, but this little castle, underwater castle, maybe Atlantis, Lost City vibe, I'm not sure. So that's it for now. I'm gonna go to the restaurant, me and my damaged hair, and we're gonna have a good time and maybe read at the lobby or at the bar, Skin of the Sea. Just order drinks like non-stop. It's probably a bad thing. I mean, every 30 minutes. It's pretty cool to have these random free drinks at a bar, but they're usually just okay. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to finish Skin of the Sea at the bar, and then I'm gonna dive right into Deep Blue. After finishing that, maybe tomorrow at the beach, I'm gonna start Deep Blue. We shall see. So that's it for a little update. Bye bye.
Thank you.
So I'm back home. to that nice week of vacation. Apparently we had to come back, so that's what we did. But jokes aside, I really miss my baby, so I'm glad I'm back. Quick wrap up what I managed to read. I managed to read technically 3 books, but one of them wasn't really in this video. But when we booked the plane to go to Cuba, I was reading a book on my Kindle. It was part of a series called The Testing, I think by Joël Charbonneau. So I just finished the 2nd book of that series. It wasn't really in the vlog, but I mean, I consider it part of my page reading for this video. And it was about 100 pages, just finished book 2. That series is kind of like an Hunger Game type vibe. Book 1 was survival fest, it was good. The main character is pretty interesting. 2nd book was a letdown, so I'm not gonna say much more than that. But the 2nd book, we're told a lot of the time that the main character is smart and we don't really see it. She seems pretty ordinary to me, so was Ma. But I finished that on the plane, getting there. And then I could start my mermaid book little trip there that I did. And the first one was Skin of the Sea. I already talked a lot about that book, so I'm gonna go really quickly over it. I'm giving it 3 stars just because the writing was pretty good, the premise was good, the characters were interesting, but the connection between the characters and the emotion, like the romantic emotion anyhow, I didn't really feel. But it did focus a lot on family, and I feel like the family of the main character is just like a little glimpse where we have like she remembers her past life, but I don't see how that's tied into the stories. I don't know if it's because I was away from my baby, but a lot of the time when we talked about childhood and losing parents and babies, I thought it was kind of heavy for a read on vacation. There is a little indication at the beginning of the book that tells you that it's going to be about slavery and heavy theme of violence, and maybe I should have decided not to read that book after reading that premise on vacation, but I still did. So I'm giving that 3 stars. It was still really good. I'm gonna continue on with the series, but do not read that for romance. And then the 2nd book about mermaid I managed to finish. I started on my trip. As you've seen, I finished it on the plane, a 4-hour plane ride and 2 hours at the airport waiting, so that was plenty of time. I only had like about a 50-page left when I got home, so I finished it at home. But that book, wow, like Deep Blue by Jennifer Donnelly. I'm not saying wow because it was the most amazing book I read or it was that great, but it's just that it was so refreshing after reading Skin of the Sea because that book was light. It felt like reading The Little Mermaid. Like she's a princess, her bed is made of shells, like little shell, like yeah. She has a pet squid, I believe. Yeah, that's what it's called? And it was just very light and interesting. They're trying to throw a little bit of politics in there, but it's very YA, and the emotions are very surface level, but it just felt very light and fluffy, even though a lot happens. But that was a perfect vacation read. I wish I picked that book first. It was nothing super spectacular, but it just read well, very fast paced. And I didn't read a lot of book about mermaid, finding out, so that whole thing was interesting. Like when you want to insult someone, you call him a squid. Like it's pretty much it. Like, you squid, why did you do that? So just made me giggle. Yeah, I guess that's what I liked about it a lot. So I managed to read 2 books about mermaid and finish a book I was reading on my Kindle. So I mean, it's maybe a book less than I thought I would read, but so much happened and I wanted to pack so much into that week that I felt like it was pretty satisfactory overall. Gonna miss the beach, but I'm glad to be home, to have a comfy bed and nicer food. Maybe a little bit difficult, but yeah, the food in Cuba was just okay, and the food here is pretty great. So that's what I managed to read for that video. I think it's a total of like 700-ish pages, which I consider was pretty reasonable, pretty good actually considering all I did during the week. And I'd like to thank my boyfriend for doing naps on the beach while I was reading, so it didn't feel to me like I was ignoring him the whole time. I'm just kidding. We spoke a little bit. We did things together. But yeah, he's a big napper. He loves to nap on the beach or by the pool, so it worked quite well. Once again, good synergy for a reader. So yeah, so that's it for this video. I'm now back home, as I've mentioned, of course, and I'm gonna wrap this up. So If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye. Bye bye this way too. No.